All right, here we go. Today we have Fubanger, who recently got out of federal prison after doing 5 years and 5 months for the infamous 9-Trey Gangster Blood RICO case, where Tekashi 6ix9ine testified against everyone. Welcome to Vlad TV.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thanks.
Well, first of all, man, congratulations on being out. You're in a halfway house right now. You did 5 years and 5 months. I know that was tough. So congratulations on getting through it, because not everyone, manages to make it through it.
All right. Yep.
Well, it's your first time here. I want to start in the very beginning. So where'd you grow up?
I grew up like in Flatbush, Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, Crown Heights, Park Slope. Yeah.
Okay. What was Brooklyn like in the 90s?
Shit. Brooklyn was rough. You know what I'm saying? It was rough in Brooklyn in the 90s. It was rough. Back then, that's when everybody lived by the rules. The rules applied. You know what I'm saying? It was more structured in the 90s.
Now, you got in some trouble as a teenager, and by 15, you were in juvenile hall.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Okay, what'd you go in for?
Oh, I went in for, I think I had robbed somebody in my junior high school, and I had a robbery charge, and I went to jail for robbery or something like that.
Okay, how much time did you get?
They was offering me like 3 years, but I did I think 18 months in Spofford and in a boot camp.
Okay, and at 15, that's when you actually met Mel Murda.
Yeah, that's a fact. Upstate. And the boot camp, I met Mel in the boot camp.
Right, you met Rell around the same time also.
Yeah, Rell was in there with us.
Okay, and that's where the friendship first started, right around that time?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Okay, and were you thinking about rapping? Was Mel or Rell rapping at all during this time?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I started rapping until I was like 17, 18. Once I came out of there, then I started rapping a little bit.
Okay, so you get out around 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, now the whole 9-Trey thing, did that happen before or after you got locked up?
What you mean?
Well, your affiliation with 9-Trey, did that happen before you got locked up or after you got out?
Somewhat after I got locked up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you get involved in that?
It's a long story, man. It's a long story about that.
Okay. Was Mel already part of that as well?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so we fast forward to 2006, and that's when Jim Jones actually formed Byrd Gang.
Yeah, I think around 2006.
Okay, and Mel Murda, he's part of Byrd Gang.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But you yourself are not part of it.
You could, yeah, of course I'm Byrd Gang. I'm the original old Byrd Gang.
Okay, but you and Mel have your own group.
Yeah.
And the name of it is?
HOB, the Hop Out Boys, Chalk Your Body.
Okay, why that name?
What name? Hop Out Boys?
Yeah.
It's just what it is. It's like, the Hop Out Boys is like, when back in the days when we was hopping out, you know what I'm saying? We was on some hop out shit. That's what the Hop Out Boys is about, hopping out. You know what I'm saying? HOB.
Okay, so during all these years, are you getting in trouble at all, going to prison, or are you pretty much staying below the radar?
I stayed in and out of Rikers Island, you could say.
Okay, and what kind of charges were you catching?
Shit, like all kind of charges, man. Selling weed, possessions of firearms, shootings, all type of charges, man.
Okay. And then in 2007, Stack Bundles, who's part of Byrd Gang, ends up getting killed.
Yeah, rest in peace to Stack Bundles.
Yeah, I mean, he was really a star in the making, I felt.
Yeah, hell yeah, you know that.
Now you guys knew each other. You weren't like super close to him, but he was affiliated with you guys, obviously.
Yeah, that's a fact. I was with him in the studio a few times, clubbing a few times. Yeah, rest in peace of Stacks again.
When that happened, how badly did it affect you?
I'm saying, see, we from Chalk Your Body, so people get killed every day, man. You know what I'm saying? We in the streets. It's sad to say we used to people getting killed. It's just that just what goes on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's too bad, man. I heard a lot of it had to do with jealousy. They keyed up his car, before he got killed. And when he would go back to his old neighborhood, they'd put sugar in his gas tank in his Porsche. And I just heard really messed up stories.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace. I'm sorry. I never got to meet him, but I'm sorry for your loss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you and Mel are real close. And from what I understand, Shotti and Mel were close as well.
Yeah, they brothers. Those are they brothers from another mother, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, now what was your relationship like with Shotti?
Nah, me and Shotti was cool. Me and Shotti, we cool. We cool.
Okay. And you're also friends with Rell Murda and Harv.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, yep. Shout out to them. Free Harv and shout out to Rell Murda. Yep. That's a fact.
Right. And I'll explain how their story kind of fits into all this a little bit later. Mm-hmm. And you also know Ish and Nuke.
Yeah, yep. I think Ish is home and Free Nuke. Yep, you're right.
Okay. So I'm just going to set sort of the timeline. Now, you're not around Tekashi during this time, but things start happening with Tekashi. In 2017, in November, they filmed the Gummo video.
Uh-huh.
And in that video, there's just tons and tons of bloods. Everyone's, waving their rags. Seiko Billy, who is your cousin, he's actually in that video.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And I think Shotti's in that video as well, right?
Yep. He in that video, yep.
Okay. Now, during that time, you haven't met Tekashi yet, but did you know about that video and everything?
Yeah, that's a fact. The whole world knew about that.
Okay. From that point, what was your take on Tekashi and the imagery that he was portraying?
Shit, it was kind of exciting. You know what I'm saying? To see him, his colorful hair, all that crazy shit. It was exciting at the during that time. It was something different. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I interviewed Seiko Billy and Billy Atto about this, and they said that right after that video, Tekashi started saying blood all the time and, more or less started, claiming 9 Trey. After that video, it seemed like Tekashi considered himself a blood because that's when you seem to hear him say blood every other word and everything else like that. Is that accurate?
Yeah, he started transforming. Like, he started saying it because before, he still call us like, yo, he wouldn't say the words blood. Like, we'd be around us, but he wouldn't be like, yo, blood. He'd be like, yo, Seiko. But Seiko turned to, yo, blood. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he started making that transformation. And it was weird, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't just get to say that like that easy, you know what I'm saying?
Although he was never initiated, never put in any work or whatever else. So when you saw this rainbow-haired kid suddenly rep this very serious kind of thing, what'd you think?
I ain't really looked too deep into it because whoever he was with, that was on them. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't really questioned whoever brought him to the forefront. I ain't questioned it. So, it was what it was.
Okay. And then after that, Tekashi signs a major label deal with 10K. And then Shotti pretty much becomes his manager.
Mm-hmm.
Now, right around the beginning of April, that's when you met Tekashi.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, Tekashi, and when I say the beginning of April 2018, that's when you met him.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so how did you end up actually meeting him?
I think one night they was doing a show somewhere and I just pulled up and it just was on from there.
Okay, and what'd you think of him when you first met him?
Nah, he was cool, a young kid doing his thing. I respected it.
Okay, but by this time, there was a whole lot of beef that he had been involved in. Trippie Redd, YG, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Chief Keef, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your take on all the beefs that he was getting into? Because a lot of this shit was really unnecessary, if you ask me.
Yeah, but a lot of that shit was entertainment, man. That wasn't no real beef, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't look at it as it was beef. That was all entertainment shit, entertaining shit, man.
Okay, but then after you met him, there started to be some sort of back and forth with Casanova.
Yeah, free Casanova.
Free Casanova. I did one of his early interviews, man. Good dude. Definitely sad what ended up happening to him. So what exactly was that beef about? Because it's a little bit hazy. It was like Casanova had a song where there was a lyric that may have been about Tekashi, and Tekashi responded, and then it started sort of an online back and forth.
I don't really know what it was about. I just know that it was some petty shit. Yeah, I don't know exactly what it was about, but I know it was some dumb shit. Probably some social media shit.
Right. So then on April 21st, 2018, Adrian Broner had a fight at the Barclays Center.
Yeah.
And you were with Tekashi and a whole bunch of other people.
Uh-huh.
Why'd you decide to go with Tekashi that night?
Shit, that was my first time in the Barclays Center. You know what I'm saying? Then we was walking Adrian Bonner in the ring, so that was kind of big for, you know what I'm saying? That was kind of big, but it never happened.
Okay, because you guys end up walking in a hallway in the Barclays, and then suddenly Casanova and his crew were walking down the same hallway. And from what I understand, Casanova was like 50 deep.
Yeah, the video was out there. You saw the video? Yeah,
I saw the video.
Yeah, the video out there.
Okay, so from your point of view, describe what happens. Because ultimately, you end up pleading to this whole thing, and it's all out there now.
Nah, basically, they was probably, I think they was trying to like holler at 6ix9ine, you know what I'm saying? It ain't really had nothing to do with us because most of us, we know Casanova. We all from the hood. We all from the streets, you know what I'm saying? So I think basically that was like between Casanova and 6ix9ine, you know what I'm saying? That was between them, but we just was trying to stop the situation, but I don't know, but it went where it went, you know what I'm saying?
Right, because as you guys were walking towards each other, there started to be some sort of shoving match, right?
Yeah. Now, we was basically telling them, chill, you know what I'm saying? We trying to walk Adrian Bonner to the ring. Niggas ain't come there for none of this shit, you know what I'm saying? And
okay, so you're trying to actually de-escalate the situation.
Yeah.
But some of the guys on Casanova's side weren't trying to hear it.
Nah.
Is it because there were more of them than you guys that night?
I don't know what they was on, you know what I'm saying? But we ain't see, as you see, we didn't come there to fight. So we came there to have a good time, you know what I'm saying? Adrian Bonner came there to fight. We didn't come there to fight. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the situation escalated, and according to what you pled guilty to, you ended up pulling out a gun.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay. And what'd you do next?
It's all on tape, man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they saying happened, I guess that's what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You end up shooting the gun in the air. You didn't actually shoot it at anybody.
No.
It got shot in the air, and then everyone ducked, and then people started running.
Yeah.
Why'd you feel at that moment that was your only choice?
First of all, they was getting too close. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to tell them back up, but they wouldn't. They wasn't trying to back up. Nobody, we know Cass, so nobody wasn't trying to shoot Cass or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But we just trying to tell them back the fuck up. Niggas ain't on that. You know what I'm saying? But
did you feel that they were possibly armed as well, and it could turn into a really bad situation?
No, I wasn't thinking about none of that. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that happens, and now there's a shooting at a major event center in Brooklyn. Casanova and his crew end up leaving, but from what I understand, Tekashi and his crew ended up still being in the building, and you guys got questioned by police, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, nobody got charged.
Nah. At first, the police thought that somebody was shooting at us.
Okay. Well, that situation happens, and then you were driving, and you get pulled over by the police.
Yeah.
How long after, because the shooting happened on April 21st, how long after that did you get pulled over?
Like, I think 2 weeks.
2 weeks later?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're driving, you get pulled over, and I guess you had a suspended license?
Yeah.
And they searched the car.
Nah. They took me, they didn't search the car. They took me to the precinct.
Aha.
When they pulled me over, they said when I drove past them, my car signaled to them that the car was stolen. But the car was never stolen. The car was paid for.
Aha. Okay. So they arrest you for what? Driving in a stolen car that wasn't stolen?
They said that they taken me to the precinct to check out the car or some shit, and if it don't come back stolen, they was gonna let me go or some shit. That's what they said at the beginning. That's why at the beginning.
Okay, but what happened? They searched the car at the precinct?
Nah, they searched me at the precinct. So the whole time I was in the back of the police car with a gun on me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Aha. Okay. So they end up searching you and they find the gun.
Yeah.
So then what happens?
They charged me with that, and they charged me with the Barclays shooting. They was originally following me. I never drove past them. They followed me for like 10 minutes. And then they finally pulled me over, and that was their story, was that when I drove past them, my car signaled them, but that never happened. What happened was they was following me. They knew who I was and what I was driving. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Somebody told them where to find me at.
Okay. So now you're arrested for a gun.
Yeah.
And the Barclays shooting.
Yeah.
Were you offered a bail?
Yeah, I think my bail was either 50,000 or 100,000. One of those. I can't even remember.
Well, I mean, that's not that much because you could put up 10%, right?
Yeah. No. 10%.
No?
No, matter of fact, I can't remember what it was, to be honest, man. I can't even remember.
Okay. So, I mean, the question is, now you're locked up, you have a bail.
Yeah.
And you did what you did to protect this multimillionaire artist.
Yeah.
Why didn't that artist or someone around him post your bail?
That's a good question. I can't answer that.
I mean, were you upset about that?
Nah, I wasn't upset, you know. I wasn't upset. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Okay, so now you're locked up in jail and you can't post bail. And what's interesting is a couple weeks after that, Tekashi and Casanova link up and make a video and they squash their whole beef.
Look who I bumped into.
You know that shit Trey Way shit, man. You know that ape
Look
shit,
who I
man.
bumped
Trey Way
into.
shit, man.
Oh, it's not a lust.
Trey Way.
It's not a lust. Oh, shit. Oh.
That was very interesting, right? And I'm sitting in jail while they doing that, right? That was interesting. Right. Yeah, that was interesting.
I mean, were you upset about that?
Nah, I wasn't upset. Nah.
Right, but it is kind of ironic that you're sitting in jail for two guys that are now hugged up on each other.
Yeah.
Okay. You're locked up this whole time, but then a whole bunch of crazy shit starts to happen with Tekashi. In June of 2018, he was getting into a beef with Chief Keef. There's a video of him offering $20,000 for someone to shoot at him, and then Kuda B ends up shooting at Chief Keef later on, which ultimately he was charged for. And then in July of 2018, Tekashi gets kidnapped. They end up kidnapping him, stealing his jewelry, beating him up. He manages to escape. Harv was later charged for this kidnapping. And then in October, a couple months later, Tekashi had a meeting with the music executive of Philippe Chow. His entourage wasn't allowed to come in. A scuffle broke out. One of the security guards at Philippe's got hit in the head with a chair. He pulled out a gun and shot the guy that hit him. The guy who got shot tried to get away, jump in a cab, couldn't catch a cab. And ultimately, Shotti turned himself in November for that fight, for his association with it. Were you hearing about all this happening while you were locked up?
Yeah, because a lot of people was coming in jail from the streets. So yeah, I was hearing about a few things.
I mean, Tekashi was always in some shit, but I feel like after the Barclays incident, it just got more and more and more serious.
Uh-huh.
I mean, what was your take on the way he was acting out in the street?
I'm saying he was calling people out. That's what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have no take on it. That's what he was doing. That's just, that ain't nothing new to me. He ain't the first person I seen do that. You know what I'm saying? Call people out.
Yeah, but he did it on a slightly different level than everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just did it on the social media. People get called out every day in the streets. That just was on social media. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And then on November 15th, Tekashi announced that he's firing his whole team, including his management and Shotti. Announced that he's canceling his upcoming tour. And then the next day, on November 16th, he does the Breakfast Club. And he essentially disses all the 9 Trey Bloods, calls them dirty, said that he's not affiliated with him anymore. When you heard that interview, what did you think?
It was kind of funny, but see, if you think about it, right, he didn't start doing that until the feds came. You know what I'm saying? So if the feds didn't come, he would have still been going along with it. You know what I'm saying? So like the thing where he say people was messing with his baby mother and all that other crazy shit, he was going along with it until the feds came. So if you running around saying test is gangster and test my gangster and all of that, if somebody messing with your baby mother or I don't know, if somebody rob you or whatever, they testing your gangster. So he went about that wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but Tekashi was never really a gangster.
Yeah, but still and all, if you acting like you screaming, you saying test your gangster when your gangster was tested. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so the Breakfast Club thing happens, and that caused a big uproar because all these guys that were around Tekashi, that were protecting him and basically, doing all his dirt for all the beefs that he was starting and putting in all the work. Now he's dissing everybody, and basically disrespecting the people that got him to where he was. Mm-hmm. And then 2 days later, on November 18th, ATF started arresting everybody. Tekashi gets arrested. Mel Murder gets arrested. Ish, Crippy, and you.
Yeah.
Now you're already in jail while this is happening, right?
Uh-huh.
Now you're in jail for the Barclays shooting and the gun that they found in your car.
Yeah.
But now this is a whole bigger situation now.
Mm-hmm.
When you found out about this new arrest, how'd you feel?
Like I ain't believe it. I ain't believe it because the police, like the gang unit in Rikers Island, came to me and he was like, "Yo, we switching you over to the feds. You in the newspaper. Your case, the feds took over your case." So I'm thinking he bullshitting. I'm like, the fuck is he talking about? But it was a fact.
Right. Now, the state is one thing, but the feds is a whole different situation. Mm-hmm. When you look at a federal indictment, it'll say the United States of America versus your name.
Yeah.
You're now going up against the entire country with unlimited resources.
That's a fact.
Did that worry you at that point?
When they took me from the state and walked me in the Fed building, that's when I was like, what the, like, that's when it was, I knew shit was real.
Did they actually increase your charges once the Fed case came about?
Yeah. They changed the reckless endangerment to like assault with a dangerous weapon. They switched it there.
Okay, did the RICO thing come about at that point or that came later?
The RICO thing came a little bit later.
Okay, all right, so we'll talk about that. So you get charged along with everyone else. And then on November 22nd, Rell Murder gets arrested as well. Mm-hmm. On November 26th, Tekashi pleads not guilty. He gets denied bail, and his lawyer makes a statement. He said, Tekashi is completely innocent of all charges being brought against him. An entertainer who portrays a gangster image to promote his music does not make him a member of an enterprise. So he's basically, at this point, saying, I'm not a gangster. I'm just using this to promote my music. Originally, the album was going to get pushed back, but then it got leaked. So the album gets released on November 27th, actually, Dummy Boy. It goes number 2 on Billboard. And then in December 19th, Bat gets arrested, which is now the 8th member to be arrested in this case. You fast forward to January of 2019, 3 other members of the 9 Treys get charged. Kuda B for the Chief Keef shooting, Drama, and Harv. So now you have 11 people arrested. Now, a lot of these are kind of separate cases. Like, you weren't even involved in a lot of this stuff, but when it comes to a RICO, they kind of mush everything together. When you saw that many people get arrested, did it worry you?
Nah.
Okay. Well, but then on January 23rd, Tekashi, who had originally pleaded not guilty, changed his plea to guilty on all 9 charges. He admitted to being a member of the 9 Trey Gangster Bloods, and he agreed to cooperate against everybody. Did this surprise you at all?
Yeah.
Really?
Hell yeah.
Okay, why did it surprise you?
Because before I got locked up, I remember he was like on the streets saying Texas gangster and all that type of shit. And then it went to that. So I ain't. And then he ain't even do nothing. So I don't even understand why he didn't even commit no crimes. Throughout that whole indictment, you can't name one crime that he committed.
Do you know who CEO Chris is?
I know of him, yeah.
Okay, because he also cooperated.
Yeah.
All right. So then everyone starts gearing up for the trial, and people start to plead out. The first person that pleads out is Shotti.
Mm-hmm.
The first person to plead out is Tekashi. And then the second person is Shotti. He pleads to 1 count of firearm possession during a crime, 1 count of firearm discharge during a crime, and he ends up getting 15 years in his plea deal. From what I understand, in the courtroom, he said, never fold, never break.
Yeah.
When you heard that Shotti got 15 years, what'd you think?
Shit, I thought I was next. Because me and him, we had violence. I think me, him, and like 1 or 2 other people was the only ones in that RICO with violence. Everybody else had like drugs or something like that.
Well, Shotti made a statement afterwards. He said, 6ix9ine broke every code, but I forgive the little dude after all that. It's all good. Treyway still standing strong. I want that to be known. Do you forgive Tekashi for what he did?
Yeah, I forgive him, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm way past that, man. I'm past that.
Okay. Well, after Shotti pleads guilty, Mel Murda ends up pleading guilty. And your case is still going. Now, the feds basically paint a picture about you based on Tekashi's cooperation. You're known as someone who always carries a gun, and you're a dangerous shooter for the 9 Trey Gangster Bloods.
That's what they said?
That's what they said. When you heard that, and this is the way you're being painted, how'd you feel? Considering here's Shotti with 15 years, Tekashi's fully cooperating. It's kind of a train wreck at this point.
Man, that shit was serious, man. Well, it was like, it was no way out. So it was like, I had to cop out. You know what I'm saying? So I just was waiting for the plea deal, and I was just gonna cop out and get that shit over with, because it was no way out of that shit.
Okay, like what were you facing if you had blown trial?
25.
25 years.
Yeah.
And in the feds, it's what, 85%?
Yeah. But with violence, you hit. With violence, you probably don't get none of that shit. With violence,
so
you hit.
a full 25.
Probably. With violence, with like drugs, you get like a little bit of leeway with the First Step Act and all of that. But with violence, is
right, because you're 42 at the time. You're looking at getting out at 67.
Yeah.
Not a pleasant thought.
Nah, not at all.
Okay, so you end up pleading out. And in open court, you admit to discharging a firearm inside the Barclays Center in Brooklyn in order to scare rival gang members. You also pled guilty to assault with a dangerous weapon in aid of racketeering, which carried a maximum sentence of 20 years, brandishing a firearm in furtherance of a crime of violence, which carries a mandatory sentence of 7 years, and a maximum sentence of life.
Yeah.
Now, when you plead out, you hope for a good sentence, but you don't know. And as I'm looking through these guidelines here, there's a maximum of life. So you potentially could have gotten life by pleading out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, during this time, did you have a public defender or you had a real lawyer?
I had a public defender.
Okay. Why not just scrape everything you have together to get a serious lawyer? Because, I mean, it's basically your life at this point.
Yeah, but in the certain cases, like that case was like a sealed case. It wasn't even worth fighting.
Okay. So you end up pleading guilty, and the U.S. Attorney, Jeffrey S. Berman, said, today, Mr. Lovick admitted to a brazen and dangerous act of violence while inside the Barclays Center with Tekashi 6ix9ine and other 9 Trey gang members. Lovick fired a gun to intimidate rival gang members. We continue our daily work with our law enforcement partners to keep our community safe, to vigorously investigate acts of violence committed by gang members.
Yeah, when before I did that plea, right, I was telling them that if they look at the video, because they was playing the video. So I'm telling them if they look at the video, it's like self-defense. Like we walking, somebody attack us, a shot go off. If you look at the shot, it wasn't to hit nobody. It was like self-defense. I'm trying to tell them like we was being attacked. You know what I'm saying? So the judge said if I keep saying that, he gonna raise the offer. He wouldn't accept my plea because I was telling him like, this is self-defense. I wasn't trying to shoot nobody. You know what I'm saying? But they wasn't going for that.
Well, I guess what the judge had said, because I read through this case, was that, he agreed with you that you shot in the air and you didn't shoot at anybody, but you still were guilty of being affiliated with the gang and doing this under the gang umbrella, right?
Exactly.
And that's what really got you. It wasn't so much, if you were just a regular guy walking, by yourself in the Barclays Center and a bunch of 50 guys start to attack you and you fired off your gun, that may have been self-defense. You could have gotten away with it, but they put that gang jacket on you,
yeah,
which basically buried you in this case.
That's a fact.
Okay, so you plead guilty, but you're not sentenced yet. And then on September 16th, the trial starts. Tekashi takes the stand and he tells on everybody. I mean, not only does he tell on everybody, but he brings up new information that nobody knew about. I think he tried to implicate Jim Jones and Cardi B and all types of stuff started coming out, which is really kind of unheard in the world of hip hop. I mean, you hear stories of, so-and-so cooperated with their teenager, but you never really see it in real time where a big major rapper is taking the stand and telling on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
When you saw that play out, what'd you think?
Shit, it was over. Because that's all they needed was him to do that, and they had convictions. That's why everybody was copping out. Because he was telling everything. So I'm not saying why would you fight that, but why would you fight that? Like you want to go to jail longer or something? Like you knew we ain't had no wins with that.
Right. Well, Harvin Nuke ended up taking it to trial. Now, they were charged for kidnapping and racketeering, and both of them lost at trial. Nuke got 17 years, and Harv got 24 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know both these guys.
Yeah.
When you heard these two friends of yours are getting football numbers like this, what did you think?
All I thought about was them coming back on the appeal, like doing their appeal. They know what they doing, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And that probably would have happened to you if you went to trial.
Ain't no probably.
Ain't no probably. Right. Okay. So then on December of 2018, Tekashi ends up getting sentenced. He gets time served, 2 years probation, 1,000 hours of community service, and he essentially goes home to home confinement. So he essentially, after cooperating, gets no extra time. He walks away. How did you feel when that happened to him?
I knew that was gonna happen. Once he did what he did, that I knew you knew that was gonna happen.
Okay. So then we fast forward to 2020. On February 13th, you go to your sentencing.
Yeah.
How'd you feel going into it?
My lawyer was telling me I was gonna get the 84 months, but the government and the DA and all of them, they was trying to give me more time than that. They was trying to give me like 96 months or something like that. So it was I didn't know what the hell was gonna happen.
Okay. Well, ultimately what happened was you got 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years and 1 day, I think.
Right. Plus 3 years of supervised release.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to have any contact with any 9 Trey Bloods.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Now, keep in mind, this is a serious one. Like, a lot of people try to gloss this part over, but for example, I just interviewed Joey Merlino. He's the rumored boss of the Philadelphia Mafia, and he ended up doing all types of years by getting out and associating with known Mafia guys and then going in 5 years here, 4 years there. Mm-hmm. That's a serious one.
Yeah.
You can't talk to anyone affiliated on any level.
That's what they say.
Okay. And then everyone else gets sentenced. Bat gets 20 years. Roll Murder gets 5.5 years. Crippy gets 5 years. Ish gets 5 years. Kuda got 3.5 years. He's out now. So then you go to prison. Now, is this your first time locked up in the feds?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between the feds and state?
It's like it's like in the feds they got like some card thing going on where like if you from New York, you with the New York people. If you from PA, you with the PA people. You know, it's just segregated.
Do you feel that the feds or the state are more violent?
Both. Jail is jail. It don't matter. State or feds, it's the same shit.
Okay. I mean, I guess it depends on the state. I've always heard the state's a little more violent because the feds, you get more of the white collar criminals and kind of the guys that are sort of bigger and they're not just trying to like kill each other all the time. But I guess it's different depending on where you are.
Mm-hmm. No, it's the same shit. Jail is jail.
Jail is jail. Okay, and this is your longest stretch that you've ever had to do.
Yeah.
So how did you feel going into it?
Shit, I was ready for it. I knew for the next 5-6 years I had to sit it down. So, I was ready for it.
Well, at one point you ended up writing a letter to the judge.
Yeah.
You said, Your Honor, I'm fighting for my life. It is imperative that I receive counsel who has my best interest. Communication between my current attorney and I is horrible and completely unacceptable. I requested some simple tasks that made complete sense and my attorney refused to help me. I do understand we are at times of the COVID-19 pandemic. I also have common sense to know that and feel that because I'm already sentenced combined with the COVID-19 pandemic, my attorney is completely paying zero attention to my needs and I'm asking for reassignment of counsel.
Yeah.
So you wanted to get rid of your public defendant and get a different one?
Yeah, because I was putting in motions because, like what we said at the beginning, that when the police pulled me over, the stop was illegal. So every time I try to put in a motion, my lawyer wouldn't respond or they'll come with more charges. So every time I try to put in a motion, it's a new charge coming up or the lawyer just wasn't responding.
Right. You try to say that your conviction for committing a violent crime in aid of racketeering did not qualify as a crime of violence because you fired the gun above the heads of a rival gang without causing any injury or death. But the judge actually disagreed. And he ruled that liability was based on whether he intentionally placed or attempted to place another person in reasonable fear of physical injury by displaying a deadly weapon.
Yeah, because they charged me with assault and nobody was assaulted. So I'm in jail for assault, but nobody was assaulted.
Right. So your appeal got thrown out.
Never even went through. Like, that shit just was nothing.
Yeah. Was that disappointing?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're in prison having to do your time. Now, at one point, you actually get your GED.
Yeah, yep. I definitely got that.
Why did you decide to get your GED?
I had nothing but time, so I was using my time wisely, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on that, man.
No, thank you, yep.
Congrats. You end up doing 5 years and 5 months.
Yeah.
During that time, what do you think was the worst situation you got into?
Like, situation?
Yeah. Violence, that type of thing.
No, I wasn't really getting into nothing. I wasn't really getting into shit. I was mostly like doing programs and shit. I wasn't really getting into nothing. Well,
okay.
Yeah, probably like they said I had too much stamps, like and the Fed stamps is money. So one time they said I had too much money in my pocket or some shit. But nothing major, just petty shit, stupid shit.
Okay. Is that because you had a reasonable amount of time and you had a real release date, so you didn't want to mess it up by getting into it with anybody?
Nah, yeah. It's just that I was just trying to get out of there because that shit ain't for nobody. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't trying to get comfortable and I was trying to get the fuck out of there.
Okay. So you end up getting out in October of 2023?
Yeah.
What was it like to walk out of that prison?
It was a blessing, man, to get out that shit. It was a blessing to get out that shit.
Right, because you got seven years and a day.
Yeah.
So they let you out about a year and a half early.
To the halfway house though. So it's like I'm still in jail. The halfway house is like you're still in jail.
Right, but it's better than being actually in jail.
Nah, you still in jail. Yeah, because you get to come outside, get a job. Yeah, so it is better than being in jail. Yeah.
Okay. What was it like coming out and now being in a halfway house?
It's cool. It's better than being in jail, like what you said. You know what I'm saying? I had to get used to that too, because at first I came out of jail with my jail mentality, so I had to adapt back to society a little bit, and I'm still here.
Well, you're in a halfway house, but your friend Mel Murda is still locked up because Mel Murda actually ended up getting 11 years.
Yeah, free Mel Murda.
Yeah, and they say, I mean, in the paperwork, they said that he was the godfather of the 9 Treys and everything else like that. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, you can't even talk to him.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, I can't talk to him at all, no.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So you're out, he's in, but you can't even really communicate and, you know what I'm saying, send him words of encouragement or whatever else. No. All you could do is just do an Instagram post that say, free Mel Murda.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do that till he get out. He know what it is with me. He know that, he know what it is.
Right. I mean, you're out, but a lot of your co-defendants are still in.
Yeah, hell yeah. Free all of them.
I mean, when you look at this situation now, and hindsight is always 20/20. Do you wish that none of you guys ever got associated with Tekashi and just left all that alone?
Nah, everything happened for a reason sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? It happened, move on from it, and see, if I never would have went to prison, I probably ain't had my GED.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying?
This is true. Well, I remember not too long ago, Tekashi ended up getting beat up at the gym. Mm-hmm. By a couple of Latin kings.
He deserved that shit. That's good for him.
Yeah. And essentially, he ended up leaving America and now he basically does Spanish music. I mean, he tried to do hip hop when he came out. He had a few songs. I think Nicki Minaj jumped on a song. He bought a bunch of views on YouTube to make it look like he's getting millions of views, but ultimately none of these songs were even hitting the charts. So you could tell that these weren't legitimate listens. And essentially, I mean, he pretty much got chased out of hip hop. And now he has to, basically rap in Spanish. And then, in DR, he's getting into a bunch of situations. I think he ended up beating up somebody. He got arrested and got into it with his girlfriend and so forth. So it almost seems that Tekashi didn't really learn his lesson.
Man, I don't know what he learned. Man, I don't know. But I don't know. I can't call it.
Well, because Tekashi actually testified against you. He made statements about your whole situation, right?
Yeah.
If Tekashi walked in the room right now, what would you tell him?
I'll beat the shit out of him. No weapons, just these. I'll beat the shit out of him. That's a fact.
Right. Even if you caught another charge, you would still do it, huh?
Damn, nah, man, not with the feds. I ain't fucking with the feds, man. I might.
I
don't know. But I don't know.
Well, right, because you're still in a halfway house now.
Yeah.
And you're still on probation for, what, 3 years?
Yeah.
So you essentially have to be, straight and narrow this whole time, because otherwise you have to do, what, the other year and a half?
Yeah. Whatever it is, I could do it. But ain't nobody gonna disrespect me, though. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. But I just feel like, I'm sure when you look at everyone from the Shottis to the Mel murders, whatever fun that everyone had with Tekashi during his height does not pay for what ultimately was the price for that fun.
Nah, going to jail, that shit don't pay for nothing. Nah, hell no. We would never say no shit like that.
Exactly. So, I mean, looking back on the whole situation, how do you feel about it now?
Man, I'm way past that shit right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think about that shit no more. I'm past that.
Was there ever a point while you're going through the legal process that the feds approached you and said, listen, cooperate against all these guys and you could walk free like Tekashi?
Nah, the feds wanted me to go to jail. So they would never approach me like that because they wanted me in jail, no matter what.
So you were never offered any sort of proffer agreement or cooperation deal or nothing?
Nah, the feds wanted me to go to jail. For whatever I was being charged with, they wanted me to do prison, go to jail. That was that.
Okay, so they never even put that out there?
No.
I mean, because ultimately, was Tekashi the only one that cooperated in this case?
I think him, the guy, AP, what the fuck, CEO Chris.
CEO Chris,
and I think Tekashi's driver or some shit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but what I'm saying is none of the 9 Treys actually cooperated.
No.
That's interesting. So all the 9 Treys pretty much stood firm.
Yeah.
Took their time, and all the guys on the fringe, they all turned and they all cooperated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, Fubanger, man, I appreciate you coming in and sharing your story. I've always spoken out against this whole situation. I always felt like at the end of the day, you can't look at Tekashi as a victim or someone who's innocent. I mean, he was the one that was pushing the issue, and he was essentially taking you and everyone around you to basically help him achieve what he wanted to achieve. And then when the feds came, he turned around and told on everybody. You can't just say that he was a victim and he had no idea what was happening.
Hell no.
Because he was the one that was creating these beefs. He was the one that was telling everyone to suck his dick. He was the one that was dissing all these official guys and who have their own crews and everything else like that. A lot of that was unnecessary. I mean, there's literally millions of artists that achieve multi-platinum success without having to do any of this stuff, but he chose that route. And, to me, it's a little mind-blowing. Like, I interviewed Kuda B, and it's like the fact that you pay someone $20,000 to go shoot at somebody, they go and do it, and then you cooperate against them.
That's crazy, right?
And they get all the time, and you get nothing.
That's crazy.
it doesn't make any sense.
Nah,
Because these
hell no.
mafia bosses who catch RICO charges, who don't shoot anybody but put out hits, they all get charged.
Yeah.
And they all end up doing life.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
Yeah, man. Well, man, listen, I'm glad you're out. And ultimately, the time you spent wasn't wasted.
Yeah.
You're smarter coming out. You have a GED, and man, I hope your life, just works out and is positive moving forward.
Yeah, nah, I got a movie deal coming out. A movie, The Life of Fubanger, is coming out on Tubi with First Dibs Entertainment. Yeah, so I got a movie coming out on Tubi about my life and a soundtrack to that too, you know what I'm saying? And we got the Hop Out Boy clothing, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Vic, Robert, and all of them. That's helping me with the clothing and shit like that. Vic Law
Right.
Music, you know what I'm saying? I'm just
You're wearing the shirt right now.
Yeah, yes sir. You see that? HOB Hop Out Boys, chalk your body, you know what I'm saying? Free Mel Murda.
That's what it is. Well, Fubanger, man, appreciate you coming in and wish you only the best.
Nah, good looking.
No doubt, man.
Yep.
Until next time.
Yep.
Peace.
All right.